What is going on, everybody? This is Dr. Chris Featherstone here for yet another episode of UnSKripted. I'm here with my newly minted, it's been a few weeks now, and it's been very successful, tag team partner. He is the Dirty One. Forget Dirty Dom, ladies and gentlemen. You wouldn't have Dirty Dom without Dirty Dutch.
That was a complete ripoff. I'm sitting here that night, and Dom did something over. They called him Dirty Dom. I said, "Them son of a." And I said, they can't get any other name with a D. Dirty Dutch. But Dirty Dom, tell me the truth. That doesn't even sound right. Dirty Dom. What the hell? But a Dirty Dutch, that's different.
That's true.
A bit of a ring to it. And
true.
But Dirty Dom, to me, that's hitting on nothing. Can you hear me? Okay?
What D should he have gotten? What D should he have?
Another word, devious.
Yeah. Devious Dom.
That would have been better. I think better, don't you think?
Okay, devious Dom.
Devious Dom, which suits him better. But Dirty Dom.
How about Dastardly Dom?
Say what now?
How about Dastardly Dom?
Too long, but it is a good name. It's a good name, but Dastardly. Don't ever give wrestling fans too much to remember, because if they screw you, I'm buying the ticket. What do you want me to do? Take a damn course of spelling too?
It's one more syllable, so I guess you gotta.
That makes
that's two syllables or less. Right?
Makes all the difference in the world.
There you go. Yeah.
Don't over symbolize them. Is that a word? Well, it is now.
Simplify.
So what's going on in the world of the doctor?
Well, we're on the aftermath of SummerSlam, 113,000 plus fans there. Let me ask you this, Dutch, while we're at it. I mean, you're a legend in the business. You've been there for a long time, been in the business for a long time, touring the Memphis arena the 40 years ago, man. So when it came to like ticket sales, you know, Lawler was the big name in the Memphis territories of putting shows together and things like that. How important, and you in Puerto Rico, you were really big into putting shows together. Like how important were gates at the time, and how much did y'all have to work on promoting gates so much? Because nowadays it's just fans are so just kind of gullible to just buy tickets just because. But back in the days that you would put shows together, you would really have to put in the work to give them what they wanted to bring them to the show. Take us back to like the philosophy, the psychology of priming them and getting them excited to lead to the big show.
Well, when you talk about Memphis, you talk to Puerto Rico, you're actually talking two different styles. Totally.
Yeah.
Puerto Rico, of course, was harder for me because I didn't speak the language. So I always got an interpreter to tell me what they said. And if he laughed or he liked it, it was okay. But they've only seen just the blood and guts of an angle. Well, I gave them angles that they had to think about a little bit. And then I throw the blood and guts. They wouldn't know it was coming. And then when I throw that in there, then it really took off. My first time in Puerto Rico was, oh my God, back in the late 70s. That is really dating myself. We had 9. I had a partner. I didn't even know him before I went down there. Cowboy Frankie Lane, he's passed away now. But they put us together down there. And when we got hot, we did 9 sellouts in a row outside. That means 17,000, 18,000 people, because that baseball's their sport year round. So their baseball stadiums are pretty good sized stadiums. But we had 9 straight sellouts in a row. And the thing about the Puerto Rican fans, they were violent. I mean, if you did something to one of their favorites, you better be ready to duck, run, or fight, one or the other. We was in the big stadium one time, and we had a match with Carlos Colon. It was a barbed wire match, except the office hadn't cleared it with the commission yet about barbed wire, and they stopped it. No, we cannot have a barbed wire match. That's barbaric. Get it, barbed wire, barbaric. But we couldn't use it. And Carlos told me, he said, hey, we can't have it. So that's just, the barbed wire's in the ring, so let's just fight around it. So we did that. The crowd was so hot. We was in the inside that night. It was 13,000 and loud. I've never heard a crowd louder because they announced Carlos and it went up so high. And then all of a sudden my ears were doing this. Beep. I thought I'd burst my eardrums. Wow. That's how loud it was. But that was the only match I've ever had that I felt like I was going to get hurt getting back. Because as soon as the match was over, and we lost, by the way, as soon as the match was over, here they come. And we had about 8 cops around us, and we were fighting all the way back. And I got back about, I guess, at 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. That's when the match was over, because their matches go forever. I couldn't leave the building before 2:30 in the morning because they all waited for me. So when you go out there, and they play baseball year round, that's why we're all the time in a baseball stadium. Every one of those kids and guys they have great arms. So when you leave, they are ripping your car apart with those rocks. They'll pick up anything, and if you're in the way, if your head's in the way, you're just knocked out. So you better get out of there quickly, as quickly as you can. So, but I did learn a lot down there. And actually, when I booked, I went back because I was down there when Bruiser Brody, when he died, that night I was there. And that was a crazy, crazy night. And so it was tough. I met a lot of Japanese guys that they would do a lot of deals with the Japan promotions, and they bring in 2 Japanese guys. They'd be there for 3 to 4 to 6 months. Then they'd take them back to Japan. They just wanted them to get a little bit of experience. They were good, but they weren't used to the violence. Yeah. They got smartened up really, really quick.
Nice. Yeah.
They did something, one of their Puerto Rican favorites, one of their Puerto Rican baby faces.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we get into the current stuff when it comes to Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar, I wanted to ask you, I don't think I ever texted you this or asked you this ever. I may have once a long time ago, but I don't remember. Maybe not because I don't remember what you answered if you answered anything. What I remember the Dark Side. I'm a big fan of Dark Side episodes, the whole series. You were the first narrator of the Dark Side of the Ring series before Jericho took over.
Yeah.
What happened there as far as you no longer narrating the series?
Well, what's the name of the company that makes the series?
Vice.
What is it?
Vice.
They're based out of Canada, I think.
Okay.
So they could not hire anybody other than a Canadian for that job.
Oh, wow.
And that's why they got Jericho. Hell, it paid well. That only cost me about $40,000 is all it cost me.
Wow.
So if I wanted to go ahead and change my citizenship to Canadian, I could have been $40,000 richer. And how many shows did I do for them? I only did did I do a season?
I think you did this whole season.
Mm-hmm. Well, and they were good to work with. They were nice. So, but that's why I didn't do any more of them.
But why a Canadian though?
Because they're based in Canada, the network.
Yeah,
I don't know.
How would that matter?
You're getting into areas that I have no knowledge of.
Yeah.
So they said, and Jericho is Canadian or half Canadian. So they ended up going with him.
Yeah, he's a Canadian citizen, born in New York. Actually, he's American.
Well, how is he a Canadian citizen then? Is his mother and father Canadian?
I think it's one of his parents. I know his father played hockey.
But he was, well, yeah, he's got to be Canadian. He played hockey. But so if he was born in New York, so you could be born out of the country in Canada. Well, I guess you can. You're a U.S. citizen if you're born out of the country and out of this country, right? You still be a U.S. citizen, right? If one of your parents was American, right?
You can have dual citizenship. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's what happened to that, and I really hated losing that gig. That was a good gig. So I'd only have to go to I'd only have to go and do the voiceovers like once every 6 months.
Really?
Like when they came out with a new series, and I would go and do it. And everything's written down, and then they weren't really particular about you got to say this and this and this. They left it up to they said, just read it and send it out. That same thought, that same vibe. I said, okay. And that was easy. So for me to do, say 10 shows, it'd take me about not even an hour a show, maybe 45 minutes per show, because, they would just read where I would come in and go out. But I enjoyed it, and good working with those guys too.
Nice. Yeah. You did a really good job. I think you fit. Jericho does a great job, but I think you fit the old school.
Me or Jericho, who did a better job?
And it's interesting. I will actually, I think a lot of people know I'm very honest. I actually think, honestly, that you did a better job than Jericho.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do.
What's your address? I'm gonna send you a gift.
Send me part of that $40,000. That's what you need to do.
Temu.
Yes.
You know who Temu is, right?
I do.
I get an email from them like every 15 seconds.
Do you really?
They load me up everything. And
Nice.
I did all the Temus that I get from them. I guess that's how you say their name. But I bet I get, it seems like 50 a day.
Oh, wow.
So I just don't even read them anymore. I just click. I don't want to unsubscribe because I like their stuff.
Gotcha.
But anyway.
That was actually the advice. That was actually about the advice I was about to give as far as unsubscribing. But if you like their stuff, I guess there's no need to unsubscribe. Let's get to current events. Let's talk about SummerSlam. For those who have, someone said, buddy said, "Whoa, the dream team, nice. We're the dream team, you and I, Dutch." So that's what the comment section
okay.
So that's wonderful, man. So if you want to put a comment. If you want to comment on the screen, go ahead and hit that super chat, and we will definitely address those comments. Let's talk about SummerSlam, Dutch. Let's talk about two big things happened. I mean, Cody won the championship again, but that's just after 4 months, less than 4 months of not having the title. So that's just he regained the championship. But two major things happened. I would say it in order from least to most, is least buzzing to less buzzing, most buzzing. Now, we talked off of the air, and you actually liked the ruse, and so we might have a counterpoint here, because I actually
I really liked the what?
The ruse, the Seth Rollins cash in.
Okay,
yeah,
I did.
We might have a counterpoint here, because I wasn't a fan of it, and so I want you to have the floor first and explain to us, why do you think that was a good call for them to do that?
Well, as they say, kayfabe is dead. Well, I guess so. When you go on TV and just tell them it's all set up, yes.
No.
But with Seth, allegedly, he was harboring a hurt ankle or knee, and he was hurt. And when that match was over, I guess it was over, he was going to cash in. And so he went out there, but he was on crutches. And then he just threw them off. And then it dawned on everybody that everybody had been, I'm going to say worked. Yeah. But everybody had been lied to. And it was all because of Seth said, I'm hurt and I can't do it. And then he went in the ring, and then how long did CM Punk have the title?
About a little over
5 minutes. Yeah. And I really like that, because you got to accept that since they gave up the premise of kayfabe, now they just straight out lying to people. and that's what they did in the beginning, but it was in a nicer shape and form. But I really like that. But I think that opens up, CM Punk and Seth for I say at least a 3-month run. And you put enough 3-month runs together with all the talent they have, well, they have 2 years backed up on you anyway. And they have to keep in mind that, hey, just because they put these guys together, people could just say, I don't see that. I don't want to see it. But I think they will. And I think they will have some hellacious matches, and they'll have some hellacious interviews. And you put Paul Heyman in there with Seth, I don't think that angle can miss. I really don't.
So here's my issue with that.
Wait a minute. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
My issue with that is a few things, actually. So they had a match at Netflix on January 6th, and they also were 2 of the triple threat of a WrestleMania main event against Roman Reigns being the third person there. So they've went against each other multiple times already, and we're going to get another version of this match again. And so, to me, it's like, I mean, you're old school when it comes to booking, man. You don't want to fatigue the crowd with match after match with the same feud. You got to make it mean something. You're elevating yourself to the cage match. Go ahead.
Question.
Yep.
When was the last time these guys were involved with each other?
WrestleMania.
Huh?
WrestleMania. But no, WrestleMania a few months ago.
Okay.
But even after that, there were still some issues. Like, they were still brawling, and they were still like, the CM Punk was still involved in the Seth Rollins stuff. I mean, he went over to Gunther, but there were still some, and he had a thing with Punk with Cena in Saudi. But even before, a little after Mania, there was still the, why did Paul Heyman turn on CM Punk? Why did Paul Heyman turn on Roman Reigns? And so it's only been a little over 3 months since they've, had something feud wise, and before that they were feuding pretty much for the better part of the first quarter of the year. So to me, it's just like I don't want to keep seeing matches. Give me reasons why we're continuing to have the same match over and over again.
Okay.
That's my first thing. And my second thing is, if I am actually a huge fan of kayfabe. I'm a big fan of kayfabe. I think if you don't have kayfabe, it just really takes the lifeblood away from pro wrestling, because we know that we know that the results are scripted. We know that the moves are called out on the between the wrestlers. We know all the fourth wall stuff, and we're knowing more about the fourth wall stuff now with the Unreal series. So we know about all of that. It's supposed to suspend our disbelief. That's the whole point of wrestling. It's a comic book come to life. It's supposed to have that feel. And so that's the reason why I'm still a big fan of kayfabe. Here, my issue with the Seth Rollins cash-in is, why in the world would you only wait 3 months to do this? Give it more time. If this is really an injury, like if this was really a work, why only do it in 3 weeks time? Be out 3 months, be out 6 months, and really work us like, oh man, this is really work. This is really a thing. If you come back 3 weeks 3 weeks later and you're on crutches, why not use the crutch in the ring? And then you're going back, and then you're putting the crutches off where you can just use it against CM Punk. It just there were so many things that just didn't make sense logically to me about that.
Well, you can pick it to death, but I agree with you about the crutches. He let the crutches go too soon.
Yes,
he should have went down and got in the ring, and he said, "Hey, when I'm better,
exactly,
I'm going to challenge you. Will you accept?" He said, "Yeah, I'll accept."
Yep.
He said, "Would you accept right now?" He said, "You're hurt." He said, "What if I wasn't hurt? Would you accept?" He said, "Yeah, I'd accept right now." And then he said, "Okay." And then he turns around, and Punk said, "What are you doing?" One guy, he gets Punk to turn. "What are you doing?" And then take that cane and just hit him over the head. "I'm cashing it in. Go for it."
Yep.
That would have been more of a turn, I think. But
even with that, I think that Seth should have still had the brace on. Like he should have hit him with the crutch. He should have had the brace on, celebrated, and then that's where you have the cliffhanger saying, how could Seth Rollins win the championship and he's hurt? What's going to happen? Is he going to forfeit the title? Does he just want the title off of Punk? Is he going to come back the next day and give it to Braun or give it to Bronson? You want to leave the fans with more questions than answers with these episodic television shows. And they would have a bunch of questions leading into Raw, and that's where people's eyes are glued to Seth Rollins, wondering, man, you still got the brace on. You're champion, but it seems like you're going to forfeit the title. And that's when he takes the brace off and said, boom, drops the brace and said, you all bought it. It was a ruse all along.
Well, the way they did it took everybody by surprise. But I think they could have added to that. Even added your part to it about the brace, or dropping the cane, hitting him with the other one. But it's done now. But I think it was what they did. They did the best they could with it. So sometimes these writers, they don't know exactly how it works in the ring. But this had to be put together by Punk and Seth. They don't really put that together. The wrestlers put that together because they know what's right. And all the creative writer does is sit back and listen to it. That's all he can do.
Yeah.
Because if he says, well, if I do this, and they'll look at him like this, like, when did you become a wrestler? No, I'm not a wrestler. Exactly. So shut the hell up and get over there and just keep your pen and paper on you and just write down what we tell you to. But I thought that was It could have been done better, but I think they did a pretty good job with what they had.
All right, let's get into Brock Lesnar returning after a 2-year absence. Of course, his name was thrown around with this Janelle Grant court stuff, and he was pretty much persona non grata in the WWE for a while this stuff was going on.
2 years, right?
2 years. It was 2 years since we saw Brock Lesnar. The last time we saw him was actually getting
Did you
defeated
ever
by Cody
think
Rhodes.
that Brock Lesnar would be back in WWE?
Did I think he would?
Yep.
Yes, I did think he would. I thought he was going to be back, but I thought he was going to be back after the Janelle Grant stuff, like after that was over with. But I mean, Triple H. I'm going to talk about that on my show after this, Pancakes and Power Slams. I'm going to do a reaction and play the video, play the post show conference. Triple H basically said this happened because Cena. He was talking to Cena, asked Cena who he wants on this farewell tour, and here we go. We get Brock, and so he wanted Brock to part of this tour. So,
what do you think of the match between Cena and Cody?
I thought the match was good. I thought it was good overall. Way too many false finishes though, and you're having to hit the finisher 3 times just for them to kick out. I wasn't a fan of that.
Well, I'm watching it. I kind of enjoyed it, but when they went in the ring, they had like 50-something minutes left. And I'm thinking, no, this match is not going to go 50 minutes. Of course, they took up a lot of that, but just talking and all.
Yeah, entrances, yeah.
And I thought Cody at some point in there was just going to turn
heel.
All out heel.
Yeah, absolutely.
All out heel. And try to do a double turn of what they've done, but he didn't. And I think the people, they still have faith in Cody at this point. Now, if he turns later on over something that really didn't require him to do that, and I think Cody is the type who knows how to get heat, he knows how to keep heat, and he knows exactly what he's doing. Now, I'm not a super fan of Cody's, but I will say that he learned wrestling the right way. Well, he was raised around it. He was raised when he was, 2 or 3 years old, being around wrestlers and being around wrestling matches and studying it. And how old is Cody? 38?
Yeah, I think it's more like 85, 86.
36 years. So if he's not really adept at it now, I don't think he will ever be. But I did like the match, and I'm glad they didn't put a bunch of people in it like that. Who's that rapper guy that's
Travis Scott?
I'm glad they didn't put him in there. I'm glad the Rock didn't come in it. Now, you remember when Travis Scott showed up in place of Rock? Do you remember that? That was at WrestleMania.
Yeah, he helped.
Everybody was expecting The Rock, and he didn't come. And I went, "What the hell?" I mean, I didn't know why he never came. They explained it later, but my battery's going low here. So, but I did like, and I expected Cody to lose because the end of the year is coming. And I don't think they'll take it down to his last match or his next to last match, and because that's too predictable. So, and let him lose now. And then they kept playing around, and all of a sudden, you heard Brock Lesnar's music hit, and I went, "I'll be that dang, he's coming out," and here he came.
Yeah.
But the people, and I think enough time has gone by that it's in the back of people's minds now. And I didn't ever think it would go to a trial anyway. It's going to go to a
settlement,
an arbitrator. And I think it's going to be settled that way. So let me ask you, if it does go to an arbitrator and they find Vince guilty, which is, I don't think they could actually do anything else. What do you think she'll get?
She'll get a pretty stacked payday. Yeah, I mean,
how much you think? Give me a number.
Yeah, I don't even know how much the amount was that she's trying to get. I mean, whatever. I have no idea as far as what they would settle on account.
She will get between
it'll be the millions,
30 and 50 million.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be in the millions.
What is this advance? 30 million. Hell, he's a trillionaire.
He just, he sold what TKO for what he sold WWE for $9 billion. So to TKO. Yeah, here's my thing before we go, and I got a few super chats, so thank y'all for that too before we go. Oh man, there's just a lot to cover with that, but we're out of time. But I will say this about the Brock thing, the Cena thing, the Cody thing. Cody turning would have made so much sense, and it definitely seems like that face turn at the very end, like at the SmackDown before, was leading to real quick. Let's turn face real quick to give Brock that spot, that comeback spot. I'm tired of the Brock comeback spot. I'm tired of Brock Cena feuds. Brock came back in 2012 during a Cena promo. He beat Cena at SummerSlam.
That's like a different century.
Yeah, but here's the thing. he beat Cena at SummerSlam in 2014. We've seen so many Cena versus Brock matches. I don't want to see any more Cena versus Brock matches. I want this year to be a new wave of talent that has the opportunity to be the next stars. There's no next Brock. There's no next Cena. There's no next Goldberg, because everybody just feels the same. And so, Roman stands out. Seth is someone who they really want to stand out. He is a main event player. People do enjoy him, but I think as far as someone who transcends the business, I think Roman Reigns is the only person in this era that can actually say that. And you need to build more stars in this era to make them, if Roman were to leave and to come back, like he's reaching legendary status, I can't say that about everybody else, man. I really can't say that. And so you're having part-time, you're having two people who are basically part-time. Cena's on his last few months of his entire career. And so it's like, how many times do we see this Cena versus Brock match? I think it would have made more sense if we did the double turn and Rock came back, did the gimmick as far as, Cena cut the promo on Rock, which could have absolutely had The Rock come out, make it seem like the Cena promo was just to ruse him, the fans, and Cody was the one who turned, and now Cody's with The Rock. But it's so incomplete. There's so many loose ends. It's so weird. It seems like Brock is there to bail.
Confused now. I'm all confused.
Exactly. Everybody's confused. It seems like Brock was there. It seems like Brock was there to bail the WWE out of the whole Rock Cena stuff. And I was just like,
he's the only guy, that has collateral in him that they could reach back on the shelf and pull off.
Well, they did Goldberg last month.
I don't know who else they could get to do the job that Brock could do.
And I think that's where I think therein lies the problem. I think you should, at this point, already have established stars. Brock Lesnar debuted in WWE 23 years ago.
Yep, sure did.
He won his first WWE championship in SummerSlam 23 years ago. Like, come on now. That's almost a quarter of a century ago.
Well, the talent would say, well, it's creative. And guess what? They're right. Mm-hmm. They didn't create another star along the lines of Brock Lesnar.
Yep.
And I don't know why. It's not that they didn't have the time.
Or the talent. They had the time and the talent over the past 23 years to build it next. somebody else. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. I'm not getting you off this. What about the Jelly Roll match?
It's crossover, man. It's crossover. Jelly Roll really enjoyed it, and it's crossover. I wasn't a big fan of it, but at the same time, from a business standpoint, it made sense. I mean, there's been plenty of crossover matches
because he got a lot of fans in it.
He brought more people
in him because he's such a big star in country music.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna say one thing. He took it seriously.
Yeah,
he did.
I did notice that,
and he can't take a lot of bumps because he'd die on you. But he got in there and he worked his fat butt off.
And he did a good job.
And I think, especially Logan Paul. Logan Paul liked him.
Yeah,
you could tell Logan Paul liked him and kind of took him under his own wing there and led him through all this, which is a salutation to Logan Paul.
Yeah,
because that's what a good heel does. A good heel can take an average at best, and you can't even say Jelly Roll was even average, and get something out of them.
Which he did. Yeah, and I think it was a good call to have the heels.
When he took that dive from the top of the
that was good.
That's the second time he's done it that I've seen him. Did you see Jelly Roll adjust himself?
Yeah, he was stiffened up. Yeah.
But when he come on, I tell you, he had guts to even take that.
Yeah, he did. He did. I think it was a good call. We got a couple minutes, but I do think it was a good call to have the heels win that match too. I mean, I don't think you just give just because Jelly Roll's there, you don't just give him the match.
I think Jelly Roll has a lot of respect for pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Because he is right outside Nashville in a little suburb called, I forgot what it's called now. I used to live there. So, and wrestling was huge in Nashville.
Oh, yeah.
Big time.
Yep.
I used to watch it every week at Memphis Wrestling. But I think when they gave him the finish, I think he was relieved because he wanted to get beat. Because even his own friends would look at him and they say, no, you didn't beat Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah. It's like paying homage. It's like paying homage for the opportunity. Yeah.
They would believe they would beat him. So I think he said, this is the best thing to do.
Yep.
And he's not selfish. I will say that for him.
Yep. All right, real quick. Lightning round, a couple minutes left. According to George 199, thank you for the donation. We got Rollin in the building, 999. Have you guys noticed that Becky Lynch weekly puts over Sports Illustrated ranking her the female GOAT? Sports Illustrated ranks Steve Austin the male GOAT. What young talents can surpass these two? That's a good question.
What young talents did what?
Can surpass Becky Lynch and Steve Austin of being the GOAT. I think hands down to me.
I think it would be easier to pass Becky Lynch than it would be for Austin.
I agree with that 100%. I don't think Becky Lynch is the female GOAT or Steve Austin is the male GOAT. Rollins does. That's Rollins' favorite wrestler. Austin is. But as far as Becky Lynch is concerned, I think that Rhea Ripley has the ability to surpass her. I think
I would agree with that. I really do, because that girl's bigger. And I think even though Becky Lynch she's from England, she's from the UK, right?
Ireland.
UK, okay. And she speaks well, but I do think that Rhea Ripley has the edge there.
Yep. As far as who can be the heir apparent for the male, I don't think anybody in this era can surpass any of the names in the hat as far as the GOAT is concerned. I really don't have a name. I mean, Roman Reigns is like the guy of this era, but I don't think he's nowhere near the GOAT. So I don't think anybody really. Lastly, Cliffside, $5. How common was calling matches in the ring back in the day? Watching Unreal, and it seems wrestlers have to have a great memory to get through the match. So I'll let you answer that real quick, and we're going to head on out.
We said how common was calling matches back in the ring. We did it. We didn't talk it over. If say I go in the ring and I've been in the business 10 years, the other guy's been in the business 9 years, 11 years.
Yeah. Just
give me the finish and let's go.
Yeah.
We'll work the rest of it out in the ring by listening to the people.
Yeah.
And we've done this night after night after night after night. And if you got to go over that stuff like that, there's something wrong with you. Mm-hmm. So all the Booker really had, once he had the format down, he would just go in there tell him, do the same thing you did last night, do the same thing you did 2 nights ago, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And that was his job. And the talent would go out there and do it. Yeah. And do it without a flaw. Sometimes those matches were just flawless.
Nice.
And we would do it in front of houses, not like WWE today, like WWE, average house, 15,000, 17,000 people. Hell, we'd do it in front of 400 people because we'd go to every little off-the-wall town that they could find on the map. I used to think that the Booker sometimes would sit back in his office with a dart. He'd have a map on the wall, and he'd go, and wherever that dart landed, all right, book the town. And we'd go there.
Nice.
And I tell you, a bad feeling when you go into the town, you read the city limits and the population. It reads sometimes 3,600 people. I went, oh, my God. We ain't gonna draw crap here. And we didn't.
Yeah, you didn't. Always a pleasure, Dutch. This guy right here is Dutch Mantell. Follow him at Dirty D Mantell. I'm Dr. Chris Featherstone. Follow me at Chris Prolific. I am actually going to play a couple interviews live of Cody Rhodes and Triple H. And we're going to talk about on Pancakes and Power Slams was Cody Rhodes' WWE Championship win overshadowed by Brock Lesnar's appearance. We're going to talk about that right over in Pancakes and Power Slams. This guy right here is Dutch Mantell. I am Dr. Chris. This is UnSKripted. Have a good night, everybody. We the people. So long.